Hello beautiful people and welcome to my channel. If you are a new subscriber, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. Everything that I use in this video will be listed down below. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss whenever I post another video. Let's get straight into it. I like to start off with cleaning up my brows and putting down a base before going in with any type of eyeshadow. You can do that with a eyeshadow base or as concealer would do. Now I'm going in with this palette and I'm using this darker brown shade and I'm applying that as if I was applying it as a transition color, but I'm just going halfway and I'm just pressing that into place, really making sure I build that color up so that it shows through. Now I'm going in with this tannish brown shade and I'm applying this above as well as on top of that brown, and I'm gonna build that up. And while I'm building that up, I am cleaning up the edges of that first shade as well as blending out. Blend, blend, blend is, I promise, it's gonna be your best friend. And I'm making sure that I build that color up to how I want it to be. And I'm going back in with that first shade just to make sure that it didn't get lost between the blending. And I'm also going to blend that with a little bit of black so that it'll be more darker. You don't want to use too much black because you don't want the black to overpower the brown. Now for the cut crease, I'm going to be doing something a little different. I'm just making a line a little ways up from my natural crease. Excuse me, not a line, a little circular motion like I would a regular crease, but this one is going to be a little more rounded on both sides, except for that inner corner. Instead of making it more rounded, I did kind of point it out a little bit, and I am going to post a insert of the picture that I got the idea from. I did find it on Pinterest, so I don't know who the original artist is. Only in the center close to my lash line is where I'm going to be applying a little bit of that brown, and I'm just tapping it into place and making sure that the color is built how I want. Now I'm going in with that lighter brown right on top as well as above that. And now I'm gonna go in with a gold shade above that, and I'm just going to build that up until I can really see that gold. And to apply the glitter, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of glitter glue, and I'm just going to apply that at an angle, making sure that I take my time because I really just want that on the areas that I applied that concealer. And now I'm just placing that glitter on top of that glitter glue, and I'm making sure that I build it up because I want it to really stand out. And without applying any more product to the brush, I'm just going in and making sure that everything is nice and even the way I want it. Now we're moving on to the face, and I'm going in with a little bit of serum. You want to make sure that your skin is properly prepped before going in with any makeup. And the same thing with the moisturizer, just making sure that my face is very moisturized and hydrated before applying any type of makeup. And now it's time to prime the face. I'm going in with this NYX Honey Do Me Up primer. And again, everything that I use will be listed down below. I like this primer, but I don't really care for the applicator of it because it's a lot harder to get some of the product out. Now it's time for the foundation, and I'm going to be applying a little bit of this foundation to the center of my face. And if you need to build it up like I'm going to be doing a little later, you can do so. A little does go a long way though, so you don't really need a lot. I ended up applying the rest of the foundation on the back of my hand so it can make it more easier for me to finish the rest of my face. And now it's time to highlight the face, and I'm going to be adding a little bit of that concealer underneath the eyes, and then I'm going to go in with an even lighter concealer on the center of my forehead and just a little bit on my nose. And I don't know if you guys noticed, I did not add any type of foundation to my nose for this particular video. Sorry, I was making sure I didn't drop anything inside of my vanity. But I didn't want to apply too much product on my nose because no matter how much powder I use, how much primer, how much anything I use, my nose is the first thing to get oily, and it shows through like immediately. I like to blend out the concealer on my forehead first, starting with the edges, making sure that I'm careful around my brows because I don't want to have to start that whole thing over again. And then for the remaining of the edges on the forehead, I like to go in with my foundation brush, of course with nothing on it, to kind of clean that up. Doing the same thing on my nose, just going in with that same brush, making sure that I keep that line as straight as possible. Going in with a triangle puff underneath the eyes, again starting with the edges. I normally use a brush, but I've been liking using the powder puff underneath the eyes a little bit better now. I still sometimes use my brush, it just depends. And again, blending out those edges first, and then going in with your foundation brush, of course with nothing on it, to really clean up those edges so there's no harsh line. Now it's time to blend out that inner corner, and I do have another triangle puff ready with the powder on it, so I can be prepared to go straight in after blending this out. And I decided to go in with a pressed powder that's closer to my skin tone before going in with any type of lighter powder, because if I go in with a powder that's my skin tone after the lighter powder, it's just going to turn this way anyway. And I had to do a little dance break. I don't know, I think my husband had mentioned something about the song, that's why I did the dance. On top of, I'm getting more comfortable with being on camera, so I'm getting a little more comfortable showing my more goofy side. I'm setting the rest of my foundation with that same powder as well. Now I'm going in with a lighter pressed powder, and I'm just applying a little bit of this underneath the eyes as well. And just to bake a little bit, I'm going in with a lighter powder, adding it to the outer corner of my nose, as well as blending it towards underneath my eye. And as you can see, I haven't even applied any bronzer to my nose yet. It's already giving like a natural contour, and that's what I like to see. I'm also going to add this to the center of my nose as well as my forehead, just to kind of set that concealer into place as well. I'm going in with a little layer of bronzer, and again, you want to be very light-handed with this. It's giving more so blush to me, but that's fine. I don't necessarily like to wear the blush, and when I do, it's only once in a blue moon. So I love the way that this looks on my skin, and again, a little does go a long way. And to contour my nose, I am using whatever product is remaining on the brush from that brown of my eyeshadow, and I'm going to be applying that down the center of my nose. I don't know, lately I just been liking doing this way better than using an actual bronzer. Now I'm going in with a light layer of that powder underneath the bronzer, just to help clean it up just a little bit. And I'm going to use my foundation brush to blend out and dust away the rest of that powder. And again, without applying anything to the brush, going back in just a little bit with that bronzer, and then taking my powder puff without anything on it to kind of blend out that powder a little bit. For the lips, I am going in with that darker brown shade for the lip liner. You can use a regular lip liner, but your eyeshadow will do just fine, especially if you want it to be like the same color. And I'm just applying a thin layer of that, making sure that I'm really paying attention to where I'm placing it, and then lightly blending it out as well. Eyeshadow is a little easier to blend out, if you haven't noticed, than a lip liner, so that's why sometimes I like to switch it up. And a little bit on top as well as above that, I'm going in with that lighter brown shade and doing the same steps. And whatever is remaining on the brush is what I'm using to blend out the rest of that lip. This is the brush I use for that golden shade. And now I'm just going to take a little bit of nude and apply that to the center. I'm also going to be applying a little bit of gloss on top of that. And I hope you all enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. Again, everything that I use will be listed down below. And also don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss whenever I post another video. And I will see you all in the next one.